Some places, they're just lines on a map, aren't they? Borders drawn by some distant power. But other places, they're defined by an idea, a powerful aspiration.
And that brings us to this story, a story about a nation that was really conceived in revolution, built on top of ancient kingdoms, and is constantly, always, striving to live up to the incredible promise of its own name.
Burkina Faso, it wasn't always called this. The old name was based on a river, but this is different. Burkina Faso means land of the upright people. Just think about that, a name chosen specifically to signal pride, integrity, and a refusal to be corrupted.
But that's where the story gets complicated, isn't it? It forces you to ask this really powerful question, one that just echoes through its entire history. In a country that has seen so much struggle, so many coups, so much conflict and hardship, what does it actually mean to be upright?
To understand that, you've got to look at the spirit of modern Burkina Faso. It's really forged in this fire of fierce independence and self-reliance. And honestly, you can see that whole idea summed up perfectly in their national motto. Homeland or death, we will overcome. Wow. Those aren't just words on a banner, right? That's a revolutionary promise. It's a total commitment to being in charge of their own destiny, with dignity. But here's the thing. This idea of self-determination, of standing upright against all odds, it didn't just pop up out of nowhere. Its roots go way, way back, deep into the soil of this land.
So let's rewind. Long before any European power showed up with their maps and their rulers, this part of the world was already a landscape of powerful, really well-organized civilizations.
For over 800 years, this land was dominated by the incredible mossy kingdoms. And we're not talking about small, scattered tribes. These were sophisticated empires like Ouagadougou and Yatenga. They had complex societies and a cavalry so powerful they actually raided the legendary city of Timbuktu at one point. The fact that they lasted for so long just shows you there's a deep, ancient legacy of self-rule here.
And the history of innovation here goes back even further than that. Get this. Archaeologists have found evidence of iron smelting that dates all the way back to 800 BC. Just to put that in perspective, that's centuries before a lot of Europe figured out the same thing. This was a land of ancient industry and power.
But as we see so often in history, that long, proud story of sovereignty was completely shattered. A new global power arrived on the scene. The late 1800s brought French colonial rule, and with it, a period of total disruption.
And the way the colonial powers operated was, it was chaotic. First, they create this territory and just name it Upper Volta because of where it was on a river. Then they completely dismantled it, chopped it up, and gave the pieces to its neighbors, only to change their minds 15 years later and bring it back. The country's very existence was just an administrative decision made thousands of miles away. So, independence finally comes in 1960, but the nation, still called Upper Volta, really struggled. It was just one coup after another, constant instability. But then, in 1983, this incredibly charismatic young army captain comes to power, and he was determined to forge something totally new from the ashes of that colonial past. On August 4, 1984, this leader, Thomas Sankara, did something truly radical. He threw away the old colonial name and gave his country a new one, a name that came from its own local languages. This wasn't just some rebranding, it was a revolution of identity. He was telling the whole world, we are not just a spot on your map, we are a land of principles. And for 4 short, absolutely electrifying years, Sankara's government tried to make that name a reality. They launched one of the most ambitious social programs Africa had ever seen. In just a few years, they transformed public health, they championed women's rights, they planted millions of trees to fight back the desert, and, this is incredible, they actually became self-sufficient in food. It was this amazing moment where the land of the upright people didn't just seem possible, it felt real.
But that revolutionary dream, it was cut brutally short. In 1987, Sankara was assassinated in a coup led by a close colleague. And just like that, the nation was thrown right back into that familiar, painful cycle of instability.
Yeah, looking at this timeline, it's just a really stark picture of Burkina Faso's struggle. That dream of being an upright nation has been tested again and again by political turmoil. Since independence, the country's been through multiple successful coups, popular uprisings, failed attempts, and the instability is still happening. Think about it. 2 coups in the single year of 2022.
And all of that political instability creates a vacuum, you know? And tragically, in recent years, that vacuum has been filled by a growing jihadist insurgency. The violence has just exploded. In 2019 alone, the country saw a jaw-dropping 174% increase in armed conflict, displacing hundreds of thousands of people and posing another immense challenge to the nation's spirit.
And yet, even in the face of all these immense political and security struggles, there's a whole other story of Burkina Faso unfolding at the exact same time. And this story isn't about governments or armies. It's about artists, storytellers, and musicians.
Because somehow, despite everything, the capital, Ouagadougou, is still the undisputed heart of African cinema. It's home to FESPACO, the continent's biggest film festival. Its craft fairs are world-renowned, its filmmakers win huge international acclaim, and its music, drawing from over 60 ethnic groups, it's this incredibly vibrant testament to an identity that no coup or conflict can erase.
And so this brings us right back to our central question. Maybe the true meaning of being upright isn't found in the stability of the state, but in the unwavering resilience of its people. Is it possible that the soul of the land of the upright people is best expressed not through politics, but through its powerful, its unbreakable, and its vibrant culture?